Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our regular board meeting for ISD 31. Today, August 17th. 18th. Why did I have 17th? 2025 at 6:30 p.m. If you'd wish, please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, our first item on our agenda tonight is to approve the agenda. So may I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented, please?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? On hearing no discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. That carries unanimously. We do not have any public participation this evening, so moving right along. Are there any requests to remove topics from the consent agenda? Okay, may I have a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented, please?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. Thank you. That carries unanimously. Which brings us already to our special topic tonight, which will be the VEX Robotics and Mr. Brian Anderson.
Is that close enough? Okay. Good evening, school board members and district cabinet. My name is Brian Anderson, and for the past 4 years, I've had the privilege of coaching Bemidji VEX Robotics. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share our story with you tonight. The success of our program comes from 3 key groups working together: myself, the coach, our dedicated students, and the booster club that supports us. This evening, you'll hear perspectives from all 3. As the VEX Robotics website explains, the VEX V5RC competition brings STEM skills to life. All students are natural scientists and engineers. They love to question, tinker, experiment, and play. VEX competitions fosters these skills and capitalizes on the motivational effects of competitions and robotics to help all students create an identity as a STEM learner. VEX competitions are also a great way to expose students to valuable soft skills like communication, collaboration, time management that's in a fun and authentic way. The VEX Robotics competition prepares students to become future innovators, with 95% of participants reporting an increased interest in STEM subject areas and pursuing STEM-related fields. This is the philosophy of what we do, and it's where we see real success for our students. As a coach, my goal has been to create a program that is both rigorous and flexible, something that allows students to participate fully while balancing their other school activities and sports. I really believe that this is a time where kids get to do all of the things. VEX and the REC Foundation emphasizes that robotics should be student-centered. Our students not only make the key decisions and strategy decisions for their team, and I believe this approach not only builds technical skills, but also prepares them to become responsible, engaged members of our community. Last year, the Bemidji VEX Robotics program served more than 70 middle and high school students. Each team designs an 18x18 robot to compete in a new game challenge each season. With teams of 4 to 6 students, everyone plays a role in the process: designing, building, coding, driving, documenting, and presenting their work. In total, we supported 11 competition teams last year, giving students hands-on experience across all aspects of robotics. Beyond competition, our program is active in the community. This slide highlights some of the events and outreach activities we participate in. We are always looking to expand on that list. One highlight is the Paul Bunyan Tech Expo, where our students build mini bots for the public to drive while sharing about robotics with community members. Another proud moment came this year when one of our students entered their robot in the Beltrami County Fair, winning Grand Champion, and earning a spot to represent us at the state fair. At this time, I'd like to allow some of our students to speak, and I'll start with Eric Bittman, who is a senior.
Hello, school board. Like Brian Anderson said, my name is Eric Bittman. I will be a senior this year, and I've been in robotics for 6 years now. Robotics has meant a lot to me. Not only have I had a lot of success in it, both at the local level, state level, and world level, winning awards at all levels of competition, but I've met a lot of friends there. And that's kind of one thing that's really meant a lot to me is I met friends that both are in the state, the country, and in the world. I've had the opportunity to be friends with and learn a lot from people, for example, in China, as well as the United Kingdom. Those friends have not only helped me in the robotics aspect of my life, but also in the school aspect. They've helped me learn different topics that I've maybe been struggling with in school, things like that that have helped me, be a better student and be a better person in society. It also has allowed me to find what I want to do going forward out of high school. Going into middle school, high school time of my life, I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do, but having the opportunity to do VEX robotics has really showed me that engineering is something I want to pursue in my life. On top of that, it's also showed me that I like building things, and it's also pointed me in directions of summer internships, for example, working at Air Corps Aviation, and just helping to better the community and also push myself to be the best I can. So on top of that, the other things I want to highlight are, number one, our coach. He's done so much for this program. It wouldn't be possible without him. When he came in my 8th grade year, our program really changed, and that was the first year we really had a lot of success. He was the one person that really allowed us to see our vision and push ourselves, and that was the first year, and for a long time we hadn't gone past the state tournament. That was the first year we actually made it to a world championship in a couple of years. So without him, this wouldn't be possible. On top of that, he's also allowed us to have a really flexible schedule. With that, I'm in multiple activities outside of robotics, at times about 4 or 5 other activities during the school year. So his flexible schedules and stuff that he's implemented have allowed me to stay in all these activities while being able to do robotics, which is really it's made it possible. It wouldn't be possible without him, and yeah.
Hello, as Brian said, my name is Nico. I'm going into 9th grade. I've been in the robotics program for 3 years, and I've gone to the World Championship twice. I've been really excited to do robotics these few years, especially with Ryan leading. It's been great, and also adding on to Eric's point about the flexibility, I'm also in many sports, and the flexibility of being able to go to robotics basically whenever I want and also take the robot home sometimes when I need to work on it. It's just been incredibly useful when it comes to building and designing. This year, we also went to a competition recently at Mall of America. We ended up doing pretty well, and it was quite fun. We got a lot of ideas from teams. I also met up with other teams from Minnesota, and we ended up talking with them a little about how it's about, because we met up with a team that we won state with last year, and we ended up talking to them about our match schedules and also how our robots were going and just talking to them in general. It's great to meet new people and chat with them. Also talking about a little about the pride of also representing our community doing robotics. It's really nice to be able to go out to the world's competition and just show the world that as Bemidji we can bring a lot to the party. We could just how that we actually can compete. Also want to talk about, I really enjoy VEX robotics as a whole, especially with how they're smaller teams, 4 to 6. It allows people to be more specialized in their roles, such as coding and building and designing. It allows people to be a lot more specialized in those roles and then develop skills that they may use later. It's also nice to have smaller teams, as you can make teams with closer friends and just have a better time in general. I also would not be able to do any of this without, obviously, our mentor, Brian. He's been amazing throughout these years. Don't think. Do you want to talk? I think I'm done.
Hello, my name is Jared Alsted, and I'm 15 years old going into 9th grade at Bemidji High School. Everything that Eric and Nico have said is spot on, but here's my take on it. I joined robotics in 7th grade, but not towards the end of the year. I'm involved in other activities, and my mom just didn't think it would work. But that's what's different about VEX. VEX allows kids to be in multiple activities throughout the year. Last year, I joined robotics right away, and both my hockey coach and Mr. Anderson worked with me Mr. Anderson worked with me to do my best so I could do both. It drove my mom crazy, but I think it worked. VEX doesn't take away from other activities, it adds to them. It builds skills like communication, leadership, and problem solving. When I first joined robotics, I thought it was going to be about building robots and just driving them around, but it's so much more than that. We get to build from the ground up, literally. We start with a pile of parts, some tools, and our own ideas. From there, it's all us. Even sometimes it doesn't work right. Trust me, that happens a lot. We figure it out. We have many competitions throughout the year, and it gives us an opportunity to test and fix problems that went wrong. This has taught me more than engineering and programming, but patience, creativity, and not to give up. This past year, our team went to state and then to Worlds, where we met students from all over the world. The summer has already been spent creating and testing for this upcoming season. What I like about VEX is it gives kids the tools to turn big ideas into real-world creations.
Hello, my name is Martin Schraga. I'm one of the members of the board. I'm not actually the treasurer. And this year I've been convinced to coach the middle school as well. And we wanted to bring up the support that the Booster Club does for the organization, and actually the pressure it relieves off of the school itself. So there's no cost for any of the events, and each event is at least $100 per team, and we send anywhere from 4 to 7 teams to every competition. We do 5 to 7 competitions throughout the year, so that gets pretty spendy. And then all the equipment and supplies that we use, there's a robot hiding back there if one of you guys want to grab it. Hundreds of parts in each one, and every team iterates from the ground up, as I said. See if the battery's charged. So this starts from scratch every single year, and the Booster Club has purchased over the years all the parts for that. And those parts actually get used by the school as well for their classroom, for their program. And then the Booster Club, as far as the funding goes, we support some travel and hotel costs for typically the world competition, and that gets pricey. Over the last 5 years, it's been down in Texas, and you can imagine how the cost of that would be. This next year, we actually, VEX has moved the competition to St. Louis, Missouri. A little bit closer, but still not that cheap to get there. And some upcoming things that we've talked about and we want to implement with VEX Robotics in Bemidji. We want to develop a more mentoring and collaboration system. So the high school students helping to teach the middle school students really build that mentorship and leadership training. We'd love to do some summer camps where we can allow for those high school students to pass on their knowledge, kind of do some coding and building to prep us for the year. Because once the next year's robot comes out in April, there's teams that are building that night. They already start building their program. And we're a little bit behind. Some teams start right away. As you can see, we already have some bots built. But for the school year, we're already behind the rest of the world in programming and building. So we'd love to do a summer camp program for that as well. There's also a program called VEX IQ. It's actually a 2nd and 3rd grade, kind of an elementary style. Still the same components, a little bit different structure, and the game itself is different. And it's geared towards that elementary school style age group. And then eventually would like to do what's called a signature event. So the Mall of America event that they've talked about, there were teams from China that showed up, because if you earn a title at a signature event, it's an automatic Worlds invite. And typically what happens is the middle school and high school tend to compete on the same day. So it'd be nice to separate those completely and really have enough teams up here in the north that we can have a middle school specific group. Any questions from anyone?
Well, I just wanted to make some comments. Just the mentorship side, it shows so clearly that you guys are having an impact with these guys. That's wonderful. And then, two, the retention of your program members, several years that they've been in, that's wonderful. And just for Jared, nice salad. So.
Tracy's got a few words.
Good evening. My name is Tracy Bittman. I'm a district employee. I'm also a board member for the Booster Club, but I'm here to speak to you just briefly as a parent. My son is Eric and has been involved with the program for 6 years. I can tell you from an early age, probably about 3 years old, I knew that my son had an engineering brain. He would take Legos and buy a set, he would build the set, but then all of those pieces would come apart and go into a large bin. And from that bin, he would create things, airplanes in particular. It was just amazing to me to see how his mind worked. And as he got into school, he was the first class, 5th grade class at Gene Dillon, and he had the opportunity to get introduced to VEX robotics there, just briefly, and then moved on to the middle school and got into the program, and it has helped to evolve his engineering brain into amazing things. And as he mentioned, he is a senior. He will be, he's applying for colleges now and looking at becoming an aerospace engineer. And I think that a lot of the credit for that, his ability to be an engineer, is coming from his experiences with VEX Robotics. So as a parent, I would like to take a moment to just thank Brian Anderson and the Booster Club for allowing this opportunity for my son and all of the other kids. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
Yeah.
Brian, what would it take to be able to have your summer camps? What would you need?
We would need to, I mean, if we're open to do that through the district, we would just need to probably come together and try to figure out a space and just logistics about time, because we're really happy to do that. It's just trying to get everything together. One of the challenges, and I have to thank Colleen the last few years on this, has been the high school program. A couple years ago, it was Eric's group actually, when they were 8th graders, that used to be where VEX stopped for us. We started with the ESSER funds, we started a club, and we started using that for the high school kids, because they're the ones that approached me and said, hey, can we keep doing this, because we love this. And I've always been one to feed the passion. So for us, it's trying to get that a little more recognized, because I know that my students sometimes, like if we have a day competition, they have to have their parents call and get them excused, and there's a lot of logistics that kind of mess that up for them. But we're working to hopefully get that. And I'd like to thank Colleen for the support for the groups to be able to go down and participate at Worlds these last few years. Because as it being split, there's been a little bit of a burden and stuff for that. And I thank you for providing me and the kids the opportunities to do that. But yes, I mean, if we're for that, we just need to sit down and work it out and find a space and provide that. And for that last slide, for the 2nd and 3rd grade, Jennifer might have a little bit of experience in this, but my wife teaches in Northern Elementary. And when we go down to Worlds or even in state, she puts this up on the board for the kids to watch. And they absolutely love it. And they ask her about it all the time. So that's one of the things we're trying to focus, bring it down even more, because this is something that they want to do and they're ready for. So let's give it to them. Any other questions?
This isn't a question, well, one of them is, but it's really cool to hear the passion and the enthusiasm from the students about building and creating and being successful, but also it's so heartening to hear their say thank you to you for that support. So thank you. Thank you.
I can't thank these kids enough. I tell their parents they become my kids, and they're going to be my kids for the rest of the time, just because of everything they do for me. So I appreciate that.
Thank you guys for being here. Very impressed. I want to know, what task is this robot designed to accomplish? And what does VEX mean? Is that just the name of the organization, or?
The VEX is just the name that they came up with for their product line. The REC is the Robotics Competition and Education. They're the ones who kind of spearhead all of the programs that we do. And so, you gonna drive it?
I can.
Cool, if they would like to see.
So the main purpose is there's two, you have to score these blocks.
Yep.
It,
No, you go ahead. No, this is about you guys.
so there are tubes that are blocks inside of them lengthwise. Thank you. You have to get the blocks inside of them lengthwise. So what ends up happening is that you go up backwards to the tube, and you can end up scoring them like this, and it goes into the tube. We even have an aligner out the back. Yeah. So it can go backwards. The tubes have a little triangular thing, a triangular base, and we align ourselves with that, and we just run our intake, and it scores it into like the triangle of the tube.
So you could think of like a PVC pipe, but it's going to be triangular for the balls, and they're on a tray.
So every single year, the match is different. The field is the same size. The robot overall dimensions are required to be no more than a certain size, but every single year they change the match completely. I say I'm gonna invest in VEX plastics because that's a lot of equipment we have to buy every year because it's completely different. We had frisbee golf one year. We had stacking one year. It's completely different, and every single year they tear it all the way down and have to build it back up. And it's the students that have to figure out, here's the best way to score the points. There's always multiple ways to score. And it's the students that have to say, how am I gonna build the bot to get the most points as possible in 2 minutes? They have an autonomous period, so the bot literally drives itself on the field and scores points. They have a driving period where all the students have to get out there and drive and score against teams that they could be from the same school, they could be from a completely different school. When you go to Worlds, it's a completely different country, and now you have to communicate with your teammates that you've never met before, and you have to go through that. And you spend an entire day, and these larger ones, you spend multiple days partnering up with different teams you've never met before, trying to score and trying to get your bot to the top so you can be in the finals. So it's a lot of iteration. It's a lot of engineering. The students know the rule book better than any of the coaches because they're trying to find the best way to score as many points as possible. And again, it's all built by scratch by them from the ground up.
Thank you. A couple thoughts. Thank you, parents. Thank you, booster clubs. Thank you, coaches, for investing in the kids. It's obvious how much passion goes into this. And like anything, it's not cheap. So I can imagine Texas was, expensive. So thank you, Booster Clubs, for supporting this. And kids, you know, I call you guys kids. I know you're young adults, but what awesome opportunities. I loved hearing how this connects back to the community for summer internships and thoughts beyond high school, careers, colleges. I just love, I've been very much enjoying the past few years learning more about robotics and all the opportunities and all the life skills and all the things it brings. So keep up the awesome work. I'm excited to hear how you guys do this year.
Thank you.
I have a quick question for the students. What is the most challenging aspect of robotics competition?
Honestly, a lot of it's the teamwork. There's a lot of times you get matched up with other opponents or teammates that aren't the most ideal matchups, and a lot of it's just you got to figure out how to work through those, ups and downs, and work through, if something breaks on your robot, what else can you do? How can you adapt? That kind of stuff. And also, like, even on the world stage, we had teammates that were arguing at us in Chinese and trying to figure out what that means. Stuff like that. That's definitely probably the hardest part. Obviously, the building and the programming, there's a lot of challenges there, trying to learn different programming languages, working through how to, make the robot, like some of the stuff I've been doing is learning how to make the robot track its position on the field at all times, make it self-correct so I could push the robot and it'll self-correct itself. Things like that are complicated, but the teamwork aspect is definitely the hardest part of it. If you guys have anything.
You summed it up pretty good.
I also want to talk about some other restrictions with physically building. The Vex product line doesn't have a ton of parts, but those limitations can help also influence creativity in the ways you use those parts. Because you can't custom make a piston to a certain length, so you have to do other adjustments to account for that. And I really think that helps bring out creativity in some of the teams.
So I'm just curious, in that Chinese situation, was it Google Translate? How'd you communicate?
A lot of hand signals.
Yeah, before the match, they can use Google Translate, but once they're up on the field, phones are put away, so they can't have them out.
Sounds a lot like life.
So, was there anything else for that?
Okay, well, thank you very much. That's excellent.
Yes, thank you for giving us this opportunity. We appreciate it.
Okay. Don't be gobbling someone up in that thing. All right. Okay, next on our agenda, we're going to have our student representative reports, and we have both ladies with us tonight, so go ahead.
Hello. I really enjoyed your guys' presentation. I actually took an engineering class last year, and it was super fun, so I love seeing how successful your guys' program is, so thank you. On August 6th, the BHS Fall Sports meeting took place in the high school auditorium. On the 9th, Bemidji High School held its first annual car show, Cars for Kids. All earnings were donated to the Bemidji 31 Education Foundation. For upcoming events, the high school will be having a freshman orientation on the 28th. High school teachers will also be having a half day as well. And then on September 2nd, it's our first day of school. So.
Hello. I don't have a lot to report on because school's starting, so we're just waiting. All of the new students to the district have received their information. Schedules are not out as of now. I'm not sure if there's a specific date when they drop or it's just guesswork. Another thing that will definitely be talked about this year is how our email addresses change. So instead of an underscore in the middle of your email between your first and last name, it's just a period. So that's just a lot of online work switching that over, but it's pretty easy. You just have to do it.
Okay, thank you very much.
And just to let everyone know too, so August 22nd is when class assignments, teacher assignments are coming out by all the elementary schools.
Okay, next on our list is listening session review, which there weren't any, so we can move on from that. Next is donations, but no donations. This is recorded. We don't have any donations, so we're always thankful for those. Okay, informational items. None of those either. Okay, so that brings us to, unfortunately, not as exciting of a time as the robotics, but action items. So we will begin with resolutions and staffing positions, and Jordan Hickman will bring those.
Thank you, Chair, members of the board. I have to present for your action this evening a resolution to rehire 2 teachers who were released last spring. Madison Lambton and Jackson Lindsay have been offered an opportunity for reemployment with the district, and because they were released last spring, the action needed to reemploy them is the resolution that's before you this evening, and it's recommended for your approval.
Okay, thank you. So may I have a motion to accept this resolution, rehire of Madison Lambton and Jackson Lindsay, please?
I'll make that motion.
May I have a second, please?
I'll second it.
Thank you for both of those. Any discussion? No discussion, so we'll have a roll call vote on this.
Frenzel,
Yes.
Akkus,
Yes.
Manicki,
Yes.
Haugen,
Yes.
Longbogner,
Yes.
Wall.
Yes. Next, we have the approval of the 2025-2026 district goals, and Superintendent Olson is going to bring some explanation on that.
All right, in the work session that occurred shortly before this regular session of the school board, there were some goals that were talked about. We are looking to finalize these goals by board action. There's 3 different categories. The first one is our academic goal, because we are all about student achievement here at Bemidji Area Schools. So we are looking at a 2%, recommending a 2% increase for math and reading as our goal as a district for MCAs, but then also adding in a growth assessment as well, a growth goal. And that growth goal would be to increase over the baseline that we had this year for student growth. So again, we just established the baseline through our FastBridge assessments this year, and so looking at having an increase over that baseline as the second portion of our academic goal. We also have an enrollment goal to stabilize enrollment. We want to, in stabilization of enrollment, meaning that the enrollment stays the same from the previous year, and that is a long-term goal that we have. And then we have a financial goal, which is to balance the budget for the fiscal year 2027 budget. So those are the 3 goals that were talked about during our work session. And board members, that maybe I've missed something, please jump in if I have. Those would be the 3 goals that are before you for action.
Oh, excuse me. Somebody please bring forward a motion to approve the goals for 2025 and 2026, please.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Upon hearing no discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. That carries unanimously. Okay, next we have our first reading of the Student Transportation Safety Policy, and Superintendent Olson will bring that.
So as part of our policy review, we are in the process right now of really policy maintenance on some of these policies. So there's a whole host of policies we're bringing forward tonight that really don't have large substantial changes. I'll just go through this first one real quickly. It's our policy on student transportation safety policy. So this policy is updating to reflect the active transportation safety training requirement in grades K through 3. This is required under state statute. And so as the statute changed, we also need to change our policy. And it is to include pedestrian safety and how to safely cross roads. This removes the deadlines that were currently in our policy and reflects the language in state statute, and we are recommending to approve this policy.
Okay, thank you. Can we have a motion to approve the safety, transportation, and safety policy as outlined, please?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Upon hearing no discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? None opposed. That carries unanimously. Next, we have the first reading of the student medication and telehealth as per MSBA 516.
All right, this policy is being updated to reflect the MSBA updates that include the legal requirements. So there's some changes, and again, in state statute around the use of epinephrine, I think I pronounced that correctly, and includes a good faith clause. So this basically means that if someone uses what's normally called an EpiPen, when they believe that someone is experiencing an issue, that they are basically allowed to use that. Again, it's a good faith clause, meaning that if you're trying to do this to help out someone, you're not going to be disciplined and so forth. And so this is reflected in state statute, and so we're therefore reflecting this in our school board policy.
Okay, thank you. Would somebody like to bring forth a motion to accept the first reading of the student medication and telehealth policy, please?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Upon hearing no discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. Okay, next we have the first reading of the mandated reporting of child neglect or physical or sexual abuse, and Superintendent Olson will bring that, please.
This is an incredibly few changes in this policy. It is basically updating the statutory references. So the references in our policy, just updating the statutes that it's referencing, and I'm recommending to approve this policy.
Okay, thank you. Would someone like to bring forth an action to approve the updates for the mandated reporting of child neglect or physical or sexual abuse, please?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Upon hearing no discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. That carries unanimously. Okay, next we have the first reading of the drug-free workplace / drug-free school brought to us by Superintendent Olson.
All right, so this policy corresponds again with state statute. There was a change in state statute that says that we are not able to penalize people who are enrolled in a tribal medical cannabis program unless certain provisions apply. And page 98, the language is outlined there as far as what those certain provisions are. So if a person was enrolled in a tribal medical cannabis program, we would not be able to penalize them under our drug-free workplace, drug-free school portion of our policy. And then there is some very specific items that are found on page 98 as well. And again, this corresponds with state statute.
Okay, thank you. Would somebody please bring forward a motion to approve the drug-free workplace and drug-free school policy, please?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Upon hearing no discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? None opposed. That carries unanimously. Thank you. Next, we have the first reading of the school weapons policy.
All right, this aspect of our policy basically there's in the definition section of what a dangerous weapon would include. It's to include or any fire that is used to produce death and great bodily harm. Again, we hope that we never run into something like that. And then it also requires us, based on the rules of the state, to electronically file an after-action review report for active shooter incidents and active shooter threats to the state. Again, that's something we hope we never need to worry about, but that is something that is required of school districts.
Okay, thank you. Would somebody like to bring forward a motion to approve the school weapons policy, please?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Upon hearing no discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. That carries unanimously. Okay, next we have the first reading of the school meals policy. Please.
All right, in this, this language basically clarifies that students are eligible for free and reduced meals, must always be served a meal regardless of meal debt. It also clarifies that students may purchase a second breakfast or lunch. Again, those are just updates based on state law and some of the changes that happened with the free and reduced lunch program and the move to free meals for everyone.
Okay, thank you. Would someone please bring forward a motion to approve the school meals policy?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Upon hearing no discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. That carries unanimously. And lastly, we have the first reading of the protection and privacy of pupil records.
All right, so this is an addition of, there's a requirement that's put into our privacy records policy that basically states that districts may share personal student contact information and directory information for students served in special education with post-secondary planning, or for the purposes of post-secondary planning with the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development in order to facilitate the coordination of services. So it's a very specific carve-out that allows districts to share this information with these designated, this designated department for the purposes of coordination of services.
Okay, thank you. Would someone please bring forward a motion to approve the protection and privacy of pupil records, please?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Upon hearing no discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. That carries unanimously. That was almost as good as robotics. Boy, it was pretty robotic all the way through. Whew. All right. So, upcoming events, which the big one, of course, September 2nd. Is that what it is?
Yep.
All right. You're going to bring those. Thank you.
Absolutely. So there's lots of things happening as we start to go back to school. So we have several upcoming events for us to look at. So August 25th to the 28th, we have staff workshop days. We have August 25th, 6th grade orientation, Bemidji Middle School. August 28th, elementary school orientation at the elementary schools. And then Thursday, August 28th, 9th grade orientation at Bemidji High School. As Dave just pointed out, we also have on September 2nd, what the date everyone is looking forward to, the first day of school, at least the parents anyways, and that is district-wide. And on September 15th is our next school board meeting.
Okay, thank you. And that brings us to our superintendent's report.
All right. So we just wanted to update the school board on a couple of things. We have a school board work session prior to the September 15th regular school board meeting. Again, the school board work session will start at 5 p.m. and we are looking to discuss the levy adoption and how we would look to adopt our annual levy. And then enrollment trends. Actually, we just did that. Never mind. Levy adoption only if necessary, if there's any questions. And then enrollment trend, we'll go through enrollment data and trends for the district. I do have a presentation. That's something that we've been tracking for a couple of years as we look and do a deep dive into our enrollment. So that's something for informational purposes that will be presented to the school board on September 15th. Academic achievement, we are all about academic achievement here at Bemidji Area Schools, and I just want to recognize that our staff do a tremendous job serving our students. Our parents are supportive, and I believe our community backs our school. So I just want to recognize some of those things. We're focusing on our energy on what really matters, and we believe that every student can grow, which is why we've now included a student growth element into what we're looking for, what we're assessing, because we believe every single student should grow every year. We're going to be reviewing our FastBridge data, which is our student growth data, with the school board after the fall, winter, and spring benchmarks. So we want to continue that focus on student achievement and on growth throughout our district. With that being said, too, I have some thank yous that I would like to give out too. We have so many people that are deserving of thanks. There's a lot of great people that make this district work. But I only have time to thank a couple of groups. And first and foremost, I want to thank our staff that made summer school a success. We're very proud of our summer school staff and the opportunities that they provided our students. Coming back to summer school to teach summer school is not always the most desirable thing, but we had a lot of dedicated educators that came back and provided tutoring services, and we had our bus drivers provided transportation services, our food service staff that provided food service to our students this summer, and so I want to thank all of those involved that really made this a success, so thank you. I also want to thank our custodians and building maintenance staff for their work. We all went through a pretty significant storm here at the end of June, and I want to recognize that for many of our staff that came back and helped mitigate damage, repair, do some temporary repairs to limit the damage to our district buildings, to do cleanup, they were coming into work and coming in to serve our students, our school, while they still had significant damage at their own homes in many cases. And so I want to thank just the dedication, the attention to detail, and the work that our staff, our building and maintenance staff, and our custodians gave to our district. And I want to recognize that publicly here because they were coming in to serve our district while their own homes potentially had some pretty significant damage as well. So I wanted to thank them and thank all of our custodians and building maintenance. With that, go Jacks.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, may I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
All right, thank you. And a second, please.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? There never is. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. That carries unanimously. Thank you very much for joining us.